Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Zone 7 Gardening Plant Clinic. The Zone 7 Gardening Virtual Plant Clinic series highlight native and other plants suited to grow well in our Mid-Atlantic USDA Hardiness Zone 7 gardens. These series of clinics are sponsored by the Virginia Cooperative Extension program of Virginia's two land-grant universities, Virginia Tech and Virginia State University. Roseanne will share with us what is currently blooming in our Zone 7 gardens. Rose Campion, an attractive perennial for your pollinator or cottage garden. Over to you, Roseanne.
Well, thanks a bunch. And I really appreciate it. This is a fun plant flower to learn about. Celine or Lychnis coronaria. It's a herbaceous perennial, and it has 7 common names. Some people refer to it as dusty miller or catchfly, lampflower, blood William. These are just a couple of the names. It's in the family, which includes carnations and pinks. The catchfly name is kind of interesting because it refers to the tiny sticky hairs that discourage insects from eating the plant. And then the lampflower name refers to Lychnis, which is Greek for lamp. The felt-like leaves, which were once used for lamp wicks. So I thought that was kind of interesting. And then the Latin coronaria means used for garlands. Again, it was pretty interesting looking at the different names of this. So what are some of the characteristics? Well, the root system for this is a taproot, and sometimes those can be a problem if you're trying to dig them up. We're also probably familiar with the taproot of the dandelion weeds we try to get rid of, but this is really a beautiful plant. The leaves are quite showy. They've got kind of a greenish gray color, and they have those fine hairs I mentioned, which give them a velvet-like appearance, kind of oblong or what we refer to as lamp-shaped, and they're about 3 inches long. The plant produces profuse flowers, which is kind of cool, though less of them in the first year, so you have to be a little bit patient with them. They're simple 5 petals. You can find them in either pink or magenta, and if you deadhead them, that encourages that continuous flowering that we enjoy from May through July. They have a fruit, which is kind of a cream or tan colored capsule, so that's the seed fruit on it. So here's some pictures I thought I would include showing you how to identify them. You can see the flower on the left, those hair stems on next to that, and then the leaves, and those little seed pods, the tan or cream colored seed pods. So what's their habitat? Well, they love full sun, okay, but they will tolerate some part shade. So if you decide to try this, part shade is good for it. The soil, it's pretty forgiving as far as the soil goes. While it prefers a drier soil, it will also tolerate a variety, but it likes it well drained. It doesn't want wet feet. Drought resistant, which is the plus, and it only requires watering if there's really extended dry periods. So it's not a concern so much for us in Northern Virginia since we seem to get adequate rainfall. How about propagation? Easily propagated. It self-seeds, which for some people can be a pain in the neck because it can become invasive. But if you control those little seedlings, pull them up, it's not a problem. You can also propagate it by those basal leaf cuttings. That's a good way to share them with your neighbors, if you will. Okay, they have about a medium growth rate, so that's not too much. It makes it very manageable. It also forms little clumps with these long stems. So that makes it pretty. You can put it in behind some other plants in your garden. So what are some of the benefits? Sometimes we shy away from plants because of the problems they can have, but you don't have to worry about that with the Rose Campion. It's easy to care for and maintain. The beautiful foliage and the intense flower color makes it an easy eye catcher in the garden. In addition, it's a great pollinator plant for butterflies and bees. So we wanted to attract those to gardens, and this is always a bonus. Also, it is deer resistant. I know that's something that a lot of people ask about because they have a problem with deer. You're fighting off those little critters in your plants. is one to look at. Doesn't have any serious disease, insect problems. Slugs may be a bother, but you can consider using the pine mulch around them, and that's always a good deterrent. All right, what about some of the cultivars? These, I've included some names of them. You can see we not have only the rose or pink color, but some also white with a pink blush. Look at that angel blush, or the dancing ladies is white and carmine color with a dark eye. So if you're interested in trying something different, look into some of those cultivars. Right, what about landscape themes? What kind of a theme would we like? Well, because of their naturalizing ability, they're great in those naturalized areas. Wildflower meadows, they're beautiful. If you go for a themed garden, cottage gardens are a wonderful location. You can see a picture there on the slide. Or a cutting garden. Rock gardens, because of their drought resistance, rock gardens and xeriscaping are perfect themes for them. How about some companion plants? Well, they do well with ajuga, cranesbill, daisies, delphiniums, geraniums, herbs. Okay, you're going to get those pollinators bringing in, so that will help your herbs, your heuchera, your ornamental grasses, but just the small ones, and some of that penstemon. So these are great companion plants for this. And then here are some of the references I came across in my research. So if you're interested in learning more about Rose Campion, definitely look these up.
Roseanne, are there any ones that you particularly like that you would like to point out?
The North Carolina State was really beneficial. And then also University of Wisconsin, because they're in a different zone, as far as the area goes, it's interesting to read about those. But even if you just go online, and
those are always great references, those two that you mentioned. Well, thank you, Roseanne. I love the silver foliage, and I think, it's fuzzy. So I think that's a plus, that it keeps the deer away. And I love those stunning pink flowers, and they're one of my favorite flowers that I like right now. Okay, we're going to talk about gardener tips for July. So just a few tips I wanted to share. Newly planted trees and shrubs should be continued to water thoroughly once a week. Keep weeds from making seeds. Now, that's a nice term. So that will be less weeding next year. Keep deadheading spent annual flowers for continued bloom. The same thing with perennials. Once they finish blooming, those should be deadheaded and cut back the foliage to encourage a tidier appearance. And then one thing to look out now during this hot and dry weather, although we've been having some relief with the rains here, is this is the ideal time for spider mite development. So the damage will be, leaves may be speckled above and yellowed below. Evergreen needles appear dull gray, green to yellow or brown, and the damage may be present before the webs are noticed. So get your water hose out and forceful spray of water to get rid of those pests. And last thing I wanted to mention is to divide the bearded irises right now. So that's a good time. Check out the Fairfax County Master Gardeners website. You can subscribe by email to receive notices when our site is updated. Follow us on Instagram, and then also search for monthly gardening articles and advice at our website. We've been holding these sessions. This is our second season, and we've been recording them. So check out past presentations of our virtual plant clinics on the VCE-Fairfax County YouTube site. Thank you for attending. Hope to see you again soon at a future plant clinic as we talk about seasonal gardening topics.